Extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information. Although there is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information. Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case.
And with that decision from FBI Director James Comey, the 2016 matchup is all but set in stone. America's choice is Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump.
But while there be other issues in the campaign trail like immigration and terrorism, it's usually about the economy in the end. Greg Fleming is back with us, along with Fox Business All-Stars Charlie Gasparino and Deirdre Bolton. But let's start with you, Deirdre.
I do think it's all about the economy, all about jobs. For most Americans, especially in manufacturing, they don't feel like their jobs are secure, even if they have one. If they're getting a raise, it's not moving the needle for them or for their family. And this is why Donald Trump on the right has appealed to so many voters, and Bernie Sanders, he's no longer officially in the race, but appealed to so many on the left. It's the same message. Jobs, we're going to try to do our best for you. And you can see the anxiety, if you like, showing up in the markets. I mean, we're looking at U.S. debt, Japanese debt, gold is going higher. I mean, there's just all these signs of, let's call it, anxiety about the economy.
So this has been a tough election for Wall Street, Greg, because Wall Street's typically a moderate camp of people not really sure where to go. What do you think Wall Street wants to see in terms of the policy debate going forward?
Well, Anthony, Wall Street and the country, all Americans want to see a substantive debate around the key issues because, as Deirdre said, there are major challenges in front of the United States and the global economy. Even though unemployment's under 5%, there's still a lot of nervousness. And I think, as we talked earlier, the Brexit vote is a lot of nervousness on the part of people who are being displaced by globalization, displaced by technology. The business cycle is late. We're in the 86 months of this business cycle. So you're going to have a business cycle that's going to turn at some point. You got a Fed that's got...
Up or down?
At some point, it's got to go down, Charlie. It's the second longest expansion in history. You have a Fed that's got to figure out what it's going to do. There is a lot of uncertainty and nervousness across the landscape. Wall Street doesn't like uncertainty, and they want to see a substantive debate around what are we going to do.
You think we'll get a substantive debate?
I'm hopeful, because it's that important to the global economy. I mean, look at what happens in a place like the United Kingdom on a Brexit vote when you have the degree of nervousness that you do in these countries, and it exists in the United States as well. A lot of, on the right and the left, a lot of what's happened in these campaigns has been around Americans who, like Deirdre said, are nervous about jobs, prospects. Greg, how do I fit into this global economy?
Greg, I get asked this question. I don't know how to answer it. I'm hoping you can. Explain to the viewers why Hillary Clinton can bash Wall Street constantly, yet raise enormous amounts of money from the industry. How does that work? Explain to the viewer what that's all about.
Well, Gary, first of all, the criticism of Wall Street post-crisis has been pretty much everywhere across the political spectrum.
Obama called them fat cats.
The second thing I would say, Gary, is that
chance he called them fat
what Wall Street is focused on is what they think they're going to get. So if they feel like they have a sense of what an elected leader will bring, then they're going to support that.
So they think Hillary's a safe choice, right?
They think they know what she'll do, and that's part of the support from Wall Street. I think that's a big part.
One of the ironies here of supporting Trump, though. Yeah, there are some, but one of the ironies here of Wall Street's support of Hillary is that if any banker did 1/8 of what James Comey said she did in terms of keeping a private server, doing all your business on a private server that's outside the sort of...
Having your lawyers essentially erase your private server.
And basically evade company and regulatory policy. You'd be fired, drawn and quartered, hung from the highest tree. You'd definitely be indicted.
Who's damaged more, though, James Comey or...
Well, I would just say this. I talk to bankers all the time. They're like, where's the double standard? I mean, Frank Quattrone, James Comey, when he was U.S. Attorney for the Southern District, indicted Frank Quattrone over a 22-word email that could have been taken 40 different ways. Yet he comes back and says, well, Hillary did all this bad stuff, but you know what? There's no intent here.
So he's damaged more, Charlie?
I think so. What do you think?
Well, look, what I think is that the election is now moving forward, and the discussion we just had around a substantive debate around issues is about to take place. And Americans will do that against the backdrop of how they feel about each candidate. But let the candidates engage now on $20 trillion of debt in the United States, on an economic recovery that's in its later stages, on a lot of Americans who are uneasy.
15% corporate tax, 25% income
Let's
tax.
move on to where are we going on the things that are going to define this country over the next
You basically predicted the cycle's going to turn down. We were going to have a recession.
At some point,
okay.
I'm not saying necessarily in the near term, but it's already the second
Do you think it
longest.
happens before the election?
No, I don't. I don't. I think there's a lot of uncertainty out there, but not before the election. And frankly, Charlie, the American economy's been fantastic. Coming out of
Depends on for whom.
Yeah, but unemployment under 5%. It's come out of the credit crisis.
Underemployment.
I have 5 million jobs unfilled every
Which
single
is
month.
why there's still a lot of anxiety, no question. But it's actually, we've adjusted better and quicker than other economies. Charlie, the American economy's been fantastic. Coming out of
Depends on for whom.
Yeah, but unemployment under 5%. It's come out of the credit crisis.
Underemployment.
I have 5 million jobs unfilled every single month.
Which is why there's still a lot of anxiety, no question. But it's actually, we've adjusted better and quicker than other economies. Look at the Europeans now. So it could go on longer. But at some point it has to turn down.
A lot more to discuss. We got to leave it there, unfortunately. Charlie, Greg, Deidre, thanks for joining us.
Make sure you tune in next week for our special guest, the presumptive presidential nominee for the Republican Party, Donald Trump. Have a great weekend.
Monday, Trump